Hey, what's up, guys? Um, we started this week yesterday with multiplying decimals and whole numbers. And today we're going to continue that and practice a little bit more. And we're going to be multiplying decimals and decimals together. So we got a couple rules for you here to follow when you're doing it. Hopefully this really helps when solving these problems. And then we're going to do a couple examples together, and I'll let you guys get work on your assignment today. First of all, when you're multiplying numbers, decimals together, step one is to ignore the decimal points altogether and just pretend that they're regular whole numbers. Okay? So you're going to ignore the decimal points and multiply the decimals as you would multiply whole numbers. Just pretend they're regular whole numbers. After that is where it gets, where we need to apply the decimal rule, right? Total the number of decimal places in the factors, which are the numbers that you're multiplying together. So you count how many decimal places there are in there together, and you get a number. After you get that, you place the decimal point in the product according to the number found in step 2. Right? Now let's see if I can apply these rules to a problem. Let's see if we can make it make sense. Okay? So the first problem we're going to look at here is find 11, and you guys know how I don't like that x. So let me just put these in parentheses. All right, there we go, fixed. So we're going to multiply 112 thousandths with 7 and 2 tenths. Okay? So we're basically just going to pretend these decimals don't exist in these, right? We don't have to line up the decimals, we're just going to pretend they don't exist. We'll pretend it's 112 times 72. So I'm just going to line this up. I can include the 0 here if I want to, or if I don't want to. I'm just going to include it just for the purposes of multiplying. Just pretend it's 112 times 72. Kind of pretend those don't exist right now. And let's go ahead and multiply through normal, right? Because step 1 says ignore the decimal points and multiply them with their whole numbers. So just pretend it's 112 times 72. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2. You could do the 2 times 0, but it's just going to be 0. So I'm just not going to do that. Put your placeholder 0 down here because you're going to go over and multiply by the next place over. So we got to put our placeholder 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry 1. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. And 7 times 1 is 8. And again, I could do 7 times 0, but it's just going to give me a 0. Doesn't have value. I'm going to add these up again as if they were just whole numbers. Done nothing with the decimals yet. 4, 6, 2, and that's 9. Now, here's where the decimal point comes into play. Because we should know that 112 thousandths times 7.2 is not going to give us 9,000. That just doesn't make sense. Right? So now we need to apply step number 2. Total the number of decimal places in the factors. That means we need to go into our problem now and find out how many decimal places there are. And we're talking about the places to the right of the decimal. Right? So we could now just count them. There is 1 here, 2, and 3 on that number. And then there is 1 on this number. For a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right of where the decimal is in each of these numbers. Right? There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 total places. So then what we do is we go down into our problem and we start from the far right here and we count over 1, 2, 3, 4 total decimal places. And that means that we would place our decimal right there for an answer of 9,064 10,000ths, or 0.9064. Let's go ahead and have you guys try these two really quick. We got 2 problems right here. I'm going to have you pause the video, try them out yourself, see if you got them right. This is a great way to practice. So pause it right now. And welcome back. Hopefully you solved those problems. If you didn't, really hope you guys start to do it. It just takes a couple minutes and it's really good practice. But let's go ahead and see if you got them right. I'm just going to pretend these are whole numbers. could multiply through by the 0 here, but I'm not going to because it's just going to give me a row of zeros. So I'm just going to go ahead and count my places. 4 decimal places to the right of my decimal points. These are decimal zeros. Right there, and the answer is 2, 0, 6. You don't necessarily have to include the 0 on the end of this because again, it doesn't really have value there. Some people like to put the zeros in front of there. That's okay too. Now over here, we've got 0.014, 14 thousandths, and 3 7/10. I could do 7 times 0 there and put a 0 here, but it doesn't have value. I can do it because I'm sure most of you guys did. Place my placeholder 0 down here and multiply through by that 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And 3 times 0 is 0. Can add these up. 518. And we've got to move our decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4 total places. So we go 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's nothing there, but I still have to move to the 4th place. If there's nothing there, I'm going to go ahead and put in a 0, place my decimal, and there's my answer. 518 10 thousandths for question C. Okay, we're going to do one more together real quick. I'd like you guys again to try this one on your own. And then let's see if you got it right. So go ahead and pause it, solve it, and welcome back. This one, a certain car can travel 28.45 miles with 1 gallon of gasoline. The gasoline tank can hold 11.5 gallons. How many miles can this car travel with a full tank of gas? So it can go this amount of miles for every one of these gallons. So whenever you see words like per or each or something like that, then we're going to be multiplying these together. Right? You multiply how many gallons it has times however many miles it can go per gallon. So we're going to multiply and again, I'm not lining up the decimals. I'm going to back through my steps here, ignore the decimal points, and multiply as if they were whole numbers. So it's almost like I'm doing 2,845 times 115. I'm just going to multiply through this. It's going to take me a minute here. Placeholder 0, because I'm done multiplying by the 5. I'm going to multiply by the 1 now. This should be easy because multiply by 1. 5, 4, 8, and 2. Now, when I'm done with this place, you're going to multiply by here, but that means 2 placeholder zeros here. You guys remember that? 1, 2, 8, and 2. Got a lot of numbers going on here. When these multiplication problems get longer, it does open up the chance for mistakes. That's okay, as long as you can find them. Add it up here. Something like this. And then if we refer back to our steps here, step 2 would be the total number of decimal places in the factors. So let's go up and see here. There's 2 in this one up here, and 1 decimal place in this one here. So that's a total of 3. So, and then once we find that total of 3, that is the number that we count over from the end of our number. So we count over 1, 2, 3 decimal places. It looks like our decimal place goes right here. And to answer the question, it says how many miles can this car travel on a full tank of gas? How many miles? This would be the answer, right? 327 miles. And that's a reasonable answer, because if we were to kind of estimate, I would say that this number right here is close to 30. And this number down here is close to, let's say 10, because it's really easy to multiply by. And if we just do some quick multiplication in our head real fast, 30 times 10 is 300. And these two numbers right here, they're pretty close together. So I would say that's a reasonable answer, and I would put that down. I would say the answer to this question is 327.175 miles on 11.5 gallons of gas. Hope this helps, guys. You got 2 questions in your assignment today. Let's get it done. See you in class.